Hey guys, I am paying down my mortgage so that I can have the best possible economic position.
Well, I'm buying dinar so that way I can have the best economic position.
That's what we're talking about today.
Welcome to the Utah Real Estate Show podcast, the show where two agents and a lender teach real estate best practices by talking through mistakes we've seen and made.
If you understand how to leverage money and how to move ahead, you can really use this to your advantage.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Utah Real Estate Show. I am Tyler Kazare, Utah Real Estate Agent.
Jason Christiansen, Mortgage Lender.
Eric Wist, Utah Real Estate Agent.
And today I want to start with a little story, okay? I cued it in the opener there, and it is, I hear all the time people saying, well, any extra money that I have, I pay down my mortgage because that is the best savings account. And I want to challenge that a little bit today. Eric, is this the best way to create eternal wealth?
No, it's not. Buying dinar is. Okay.
There you go.
So, like, what is the goal? That's the thing. What's the goal?
Exactly. And that I think is the main question is, what do you want? Do you want the safest option because you're afraid of what's going to happen? Or do you want that eternal wealth? Do you want to grow your financial status? Do you want to set up a dynasty, an empire, create old money? Do you want to do any of those things?
Well, let's talk just really quick. Let's talk about some of the options. Let's take the first option. I'm paying down my mortgage. Okay, that's a good one to kind of start with. If you're paying down your mortgage, you're putting more dollars into your house, and when you end up selling your house, whenever that's going to be, maybe 5 years from now, maybe 10 years from now, you're going to have a pretty substantial pile of money in that house that we refer to as equity, right? Mm-hmm. And you can take that money and put it into another house. Now, I don't want to say that's a bad thing. That's not a bad thing.
Well, it's just like buying dinar. Like, dinar exists. Dinar's been around for a while. A house has a value, and you're exchanging one thing of value for another thing of value. And the idea of that creating safety is actually an illusion.
Yeah. And I mean, the question is that going to create the kind of wealth that you want? And it does in some way create some degree of wealth. I'm not going to argue with that. Right. But the question is there a better way to do it? And I like what Eric said. Are you afraid of the other options? A lot of times people don't even know what the other options are. Eric, we have a case right now. Can you walk us through one of the cases that we're working with one of our sellers right now?
Yeah, so we have a client that's selling the home, and the individual is going to net close to $2 million. Okay, and here's the two different options. One, just pay the taxes, okay, that you're going to make on that profit.
On the capital gains.
Yeah, because
that's those taxes.
It's going to pay off everything, and then that's going to be it.
Because it's just a lady.
Yeah, it's just a single person.
She's breaking the $250,000.
She's done. It's there. She pays that off. That is the safest bet because she now has a chunk of change sitting in her account, and it's there. But she pays a hefty tax fee on it. Big. We offered a suggestion. Let's leverage your debt. Let's leverage your assets. You're not your debt. Your proceeds. Your proceeds. The equity that she has in the property that we're selling. Let's leverage that. Let's purchase one primary resident at the lowest dollar down payment that we can get. So that way we don't get taxed heavily.
It's the cheapest way to buy money as well.
Exactly. Then let's 1031 the remaining investment dollars into other income producing properties and create a very high equity investment homes that she could cash flow a significant amount on, and then use that to structure and pay for the primary residence mortgage. So in the end, she has 4 houses that is all appreciating. Okay, she's going to be able to leave 4 houses behind to her family when she passes here 10-15 years.
Or if situations got rough, she could offload them one at a time.
Exactly. And she has crazy amounts of equity in each one. Or pay off one house completely, be debt free, and not leverage any of your dollars.
The thing that's different here is if you have one home that's paid off, you are appreciating at current market. You're not depreciating like the dollar. So it is a fairly good safe harbor, right? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's a good place to put money. That's true. But if you can get an investment property another property that's appreciating and not depreciating, but someone else is paying this debt, now you have exponential growth. And if you can duplicate this, that just increases the curve, right?
Well, and it comes back to, like, I remember when I first got into real estate, talking to an individual, and we were exploring the investment side of things, and I had a thought come to me and said, well, let's not buy homes. It was their first home. I said, don't buy a home as your parents bought a home in the traditional sense of it's a safe place, gets you out of the weather, raise a family, and move on. Buy an investment that you have the opportunity to sleep in. Think about it slightly different. Create that longevity of that wealth.
So there's counsel that I love, and that's avoid unnecessary debt, which I totally agree with. But the key term is unnecessary debt.
Yeah.
So if you look at corporations, like, for instance, this is crazy. Why did Kmart go out of business?
I don't know.
Blue light special?
They owned their property. So when a market started declining, they couldn't move.
Losing money.
Well, they couldn't move. They couldn't.
They owned that land. They owned the building. They had debt right there. Whereas Walmart doesn't own its building. You'll notice that Walmart will be there and it'll disappear. There's one in AF that the building just kind of, anyway, and they can pick up. And you would say, well, real estate's a great investment. They're obviously not as wise as Kmart. Wait.
Yeah, hold
and
on.
so a lot of people are like, well, I'm going to pay off my home. And that's kind of the same thing as Kmart. And like, your liquidity and income doesn't necessarily depend on where you have your home, but it's the same thing. Yeah. If you understand how to leverage money and how to move ahead, you can really, really, really use this to your advantage. So putting as little down on your primary residence, and then putting other money down to invest on other properties that can offset that debt. Because the biggest misnomer I see all the time is when people are like, I'm going to pay off my house, then I will be free. Well,
that's going to take you years and years and years to do. And in the end,
the government owns your land.
Yeah.
At any time, they can say, sorry, bud, this is ours. They can eminent domain it. You fall behind on your taxes. Someone can come in and pay the back taxes and take your property. So in this moment when you're here, leverage the heck out of it and make the most with what you've got.
Yeah, and so in doing so, if you want to have a different strategy, that's where you can come and talk to us, comment below, drop an idea that you have.
There's actually this guy a long time ago who taught something about this, and he gave like these guys, like one he gave 10, another gave 5, and one he gave 1. The guy he gave 1 buried it.
Yeah.
He said, I got this and it's safe. It didn't turn out so well.
No.
So in the popular culture, leverage what you got, make the most of it.
So what did we learn today, guys?
Well, I learned that a lot of times people don't know what their options are, and so they might fear doing something other than the safest option. So investigate what your options are.
It's important to know that what you think the safest option is may not be the safest option.
Well, and remember that there's no harm in asking and talking and generating a plan or a strategy to see which one is right for you. Okay, Jason, if you don't know your options on what you want to invest or how you want to leverage,
Not in the dinar?
just call.
Dude, I'm on a private text. They're revaluing soon.
Great. That's one plan. Come talk to me for another plan.
Comment below.
If you want to get in touch with us, shoot us a text at 801-228-7687. Make sure you mention the show. You can email us at theutahrealestateshow@gmail.com. You can watch this show on YouTube, and you can listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you learned something, or if you really love this show, give us a like on YouTube and drop a rating on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. The Utah Real Estate Show is a production of Hive Collective at Presidio Real Estate, with support from Security Home Mortgage. The NMLS number for Security Home Mortgage is 178787. The NMLS number for Jason Christiansen is 240472, Equal Housing Lender. Not only is this not legal or investment advice, but you should definitely talk to a pro before you make any real estate decision. Every situation is different and should be considered in context. Copyright Jason Christiansen, Eric Wist, and Tyler Kazare. All rights reserved. Talk to you next week.
with
Don't you ever wonder why
With,
nothing ever
Star
seems
Wars.
to change? If it does, it's
But-
for the worst.
Nice one, Eric. Honestly.
now we're clashing.
Okay. Do I need to sit in the middle? Do I need to sit between you two?
So currently, 1 dinar is worth 0.00069% of a dollar. So not much.
Yeah.
But it has a value, right?
Friends, let's see where you want to go and how you want
Dude,
to
the
invest.
revalue's coming. I'm on a private text.
Don't leverage that.
That's good. Your shirts don't clash at all.
Good.